There comes a moment when you've exhausted all your options while simultaneously coming across a product that reinvents your notion about what an honest and high-quality company looks like. The Healing Rose was the catalyst to that very moment for me. The Healing Rose Company is a female-owned Massachusetts CBD company based out of Newburyport that prides themselves in using only the best USDA-certified organically sourced ingredients for their vast line of therapeutic products. Their line stretches from lip balms, tinctures, skin balms, roll-on oils, and bath products. Their transparency places them above the rest with third-party tested results showcasing their intolerance to toxic pesticides, solvents, metals, and harmful elements. They provide full-spectrum CBD in many of their products, excluding their tinctures, which carry a broad spectrum profile, ideal for not having to worry about any low-level THC, which is common for many CBD products. That one's my favorite, and it's good on the palate. Full spectrum means that they extract from the hemp plant an array of different therapeutic cannabinoids along with CBD and their profile terpenes. The combination results in a greater outcome of healing and relaxation for any individual's needs. Whether you are an athlete looking for any recovery advantage, a patient in need of some relief to remind yourself that you are still a warrior, or someone who sees the frontiers of life with a little reserve and want to calm the mental storms that keep you from personally exploring, the Healing Rose CBD Company is here for your full body and mind optimization. Please visit thehealingroseco.com to explore their diverse line of products and support one of New England's best rising stars in an industry where ethics are fundamental, and a company like this will only be found sitting at the throne of it all. Use the code SAGAS, S-A-G-A-S, for 10% off your purchase. Again, visit thehealingroseco.com and use the promo code SAGAS at checkout for 10% off your purchase. To the many martial artists, entrepreneurs, dreamers, and thinkers, how often, for your own sake, would you love a symbolic reminder of your mentality and the perfect dichotomy to match? Murder Nerd is an independent clothing apparel line that represents the sharp, relentless focus towards personal growth and athletics. It embodies the vitality of their creative owners and the network of people who run on the same frequency. Why not elevate your frequency in comfort and style? Visit www.murdernerdsfitness.com for their personal line of shirt and hat wear. Enter the promo code SAGAS, S-A-G-A-S, for 10% off your purchase. Again, visit murdernerdfitness.com and enter the promo code SAGAS for 10% off your purchase. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it back. Okay. All right, so let's see. I guess part 2 of this last experience, the float experience. Let me see if I can recap this real quick. So recap. I do a float session. I have this experience. It goes back and forth a little bit. A good 10 minutes of it kind of freaks me out. But then after that, everything goes a little, pretty smooth. I don't get any crazy experience within the experience, but I think I was able to reach a certain level of just relaxation that was really beneficial and that I enjoyed because of the way in which you get there, which is the whole point of the float, which is a separation of a lot of your senses. And taking them away, your body doesn't have to put energy into knowing that you're touching something, or you're doing something, or you're sitting somewhere, or whatever it is. It's a full, real relaxation through separation, because of the floating and the buoyancy of your body, all that stuff. Okay, so. Man, I'm gonna do my best. If this is one of the weirdest, worst explanations of this, that's okay. because I think, as I said in the last episode, I'm gonna kind of take you with me with this, and this is a very surface level understanding, explanation of kind of what I felt and what I'm now doing because of the float. And some of these things I'm going to revisit. This is the journey that I decided I wanted to really try to go down for a few pretty heavy reasons. But these are the things that I want to revisit, and then also new things that I want to explore. I'm not the brightest bulb in the house, so it takes me a little while to kind of understand certain things. Especially things like this. I have to put some of these concepts into practice. And sitting down and really trying to just conceptualize and put shit, write this stuff on the wall, sit back, cross my arms, and just contemplate them so that they cement themselves into my mind, into my thinking. And, I know that this is kind of what I have to do. And it's going to come off maybe a little confusing, but, we're going to go for it. So initially, when I get out of the tank, I'm like, wow, what was that? What was that anxiety? And the first thing that came to my mind was that the experience itself was getting too close to my kind of, I guess you would call it, my vision quest that I had at the end of last year. I think I was just too close to that experience, because it was like, when I was done with that, days afterwards, it took a little while, but there was an uneasiness of my home, my life, like my gym space in the garage was like, it felt sacred, but also I felt like I had to, there was much more respect for that space. But I had this uneasiness, like it kind of dominated me. I felt very dominated over. So I was uneasy with that space for a little while. I was uneasy with my room, definitely. And it was this thing of just like my mind saying, hey, whether there is or there isn't, it's like there's another reality, dimension, level of consciousness, whatever, that's here. And it was like this ghost that would float around my shoulder, like saying, hey motherfucker, I could come get you anytime I want. It couldn't, but just knowing that it existed was like, I felt like I saw a ghost, right? So you're uneasy in that way, like, shit, could it come back at any time? When will it visit me again? And I was like that after that experience, big time. Until I slowly kind of settled into my integration stage and kind of understood a little bit more and whatever. I was just separated from the experience. Woo, it's hot today. So, in the float experience, the isolation, the silence, the darkness, it was like, if my psilocybin experience was a basement to a house, the float tank was like, I was in my car and I pulled onto the street of that house with that basement. Like, if that makes any sense at all. And that's what made me feel uneasy. I don't want to go in that basement, but holy shit, I'm on the block. Where is that house? Will I somehow unintentionally fall out of my car and trip and fall down the bulkhead steps into that basement? I don't know. I didn't want that. And I was like, whoa, this is too much. And it's weird because it almost contradicted what I thought I got out of that experience. And now thinking about it, like, I still got everything I initially said out of that, and a little more still, that whole thing is still sizzling in me. Idea-wise. It's hot. Damn, my brain is sizzling. I don't know where I am. Let's see. So the idea was that I was too close to that. And the other idea was, like, in the experience, I thought I gained some kind of idea of letting go, right? I had to let go. And maybe that that inner voice, that internal coach that I called it, kind of like it consistently talking to me and telling me how to think and to be okay, maybe that was the tether that held me from truly letting go. Even in that peak moment where I was like, yeah, it's over. All right. Not, being void of emotion altogether. I was just like, well done, you lived your best life. It's it. It's over. Like that, quote unquote ego death that I feel that I had, was an intense experience, and I had to let go for just that moment. But maybe I didn't enough. And in the float experience, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was this idea of, like, you really haven't let go. Because if you did let go, you wouldn't be afraid of this experience. Because I'm not claustrophobic. And I'm not afraid of the dark. Most times. So, like, what is it? And I think I was still in this processing place of being comfortable with the concepts of letting go of different levels of my reality, whether it was the physical, the emotional, all of that, which kind of tells me that there is more to learn. That doesn't mean I want to do another psilocybin experience anytime soon, or at an even higher dose. Is awesome, because I've had friends reach out to me a lot because of that experience and because of that podcast. And I love it because it's either an appreciation mixed in with a couple like ball busting things in there, because some of my friends have done way more. And in my mind, I'm like, how the fuck did you experience more than that? I don't know if I need to recalibrate my machine and it wasn't 3.6 and it was 5.2 or something. But my God, I don't know if I metabolize things more. It's just like, that hit me like a ton of bricks. A ton. And maybe it was just my state of mind that I was. Maybe it was because of the darkness I was in. I was by myself, Your environment can, in a way, manipulate how the experience goes, And it does give you kind of what you need as long as you are willing to receive it. But you can set it up in a way, depending on your intentions. That's the whole set and setting thing. But damn, I don't know if I could. I'm not looking to do that again. But there is still more to learn. So whether it was the float experience or it was that experience, it told me that I need to start taking my practice more seriously. And by practice, I just mean adopting a routine that you do for yourself that allows you a moment to self-reflect, whether it's to work on an issue, whether it's to further understand your belief, your belief system, your opinions, your overall existence, whatever that may mean, philosophize about some fucking thing, or to just de-stress, right? Just to de-stress. You don't even have to take it that far. A practice that gives you a moment for yourself to just be with yourself, to say, hey, everything's cool. Let's reset just to like a couple degrees, and then let's get back into this fucking race. And I haven't done that in a long time. I've told myself 10 years ago that, I'm just, I'm going to watch these documentaries and I'm going to read these books. And once I do all these things, I will be the person to obtain this great knowledge and wisdom. And, I will yield the great sword that cuts off the head of my pain type of shit, And it's not that. And I think that with maturity and aging, and then also, from the lens that I see things through, new circumstances, different types of pain or suffering or trauma, they may mature you into a place that realizes that you have to create a practice, that you have to do something that is your portal into being better, right? Or cultivating curiosity, or expanding your mind, And I think that that's what these experiences have done for me. And some of the things that have run parallel to the experiences, but that I've also tried to embrace a little more, new concepts, new readings, the readings, and this is something I'm going to have to expand on once I think that I know a little more about it. This is why it's good to have like mentors and teachers, have people you can bounce ideas off of that do know more than you, that you trust have more experience with this, and that can challenge you. I need someone to challenge my practice, to challenge my philosophy. Because I'm just kind of like throwing things out there and just saying, is this? Is this that? That's cool. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Can I try that? Stuff like that. Is this real? Or if I come up with something that contradicts the things I'm learning, whether that's my ego or it's a valid point, I want to be able to relay that to somebody, for them to kind of help me flesh it out, iron it out, put it on a table and say, well, now look at what you said. How I'll get that, I don't really know, but I would like that. But some of these concepts, it's like, they run in different levels. So like, one of them is nice because it lays it out in kind of a simple way that I remember reading about this, but now that I have a different mind, different eyes, different perspective, I can put this into practice. I can meditate on the idea itself. And this idea is a base idea for exploring something much further. I haven't finished this book, but it's really just about, like, who are you, And like I said, these practices, I'm reinforcing them because of the idea that I have more to let go of. And I found out that I have more to let go of because of the extreme situation that I had with psilocybin, and that what still lingers there because of my float session. See, I'm still trying to like keep myself in this by connecting the dots and not making this like crazy abstract bullshit thing. So let's see, here we go. I'm still there. So it's this idea of like, this one idea is, who are you? Well, you're hairy, okay. But that's just a word, right? That's just a word with letters, with language that we've created, that somebody has assigned to you. Okay, all right, yeah, sure, whatever. All right, yeah, I'm hairy, but I'm also something more. Yeah, okay. I'm this person. I have this career. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I have this voice. You know? And it's like, is that you? That's a part of what has been created. But is that what you are? And it's like our default is to kind of say, well, I am this because of these external means, you know? And this is a slippery slope with identifying yourself with either your obsessions, your careers, whatever, your vices, unfortunately. And thinking that your reflection is a manifestation of just material, right? Materialism. You know, you see it all the time, right? We can associate, like, we've constructed this reality where, like, brands are such a huge thing when it comes to how a person is attached to a brand, an idea, and that if we like that, we want to brand ourselves. This is why I wear Nikes, right? This is why I only buy Adidas sweatshirts. This is why the and one shit. Like, whatever initial thing somebody reflected their identity onto, you then want to reflect your identity through that, you know? This is why we buy shit, you know? Oh, I saw this commercial and, you know, I really identify with the shit and adventure that person's going on in his truck. I'm going to get that truck because I'm part of that. You know, I am a part of that brand, that culture. You know, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. What are you? Who are you? And then to take it even further, the concept is like, are you that emotion? Are you that opinion? Are you that perception? You know, and there's a whole realm, a philosophical realm in ethics, character, morality, free will, right? I know very little of those things, but that is a realm that works well in I think in a practical sense of how you can interact in your reality and you can function. The better you have an understanding of your ethics, your morality, philosophizing about problems, right? It's good to do that because then you have a better grasping of just your relationships, I guess your existence, your politics. A lot of these things are intertwined into deep philosophy, you know, and if you care to kind of dig deep into that, it's incredibly useful, as long as you don't kind of turn into this, you know, pompous, ignorant, philosophizing prick who, like, just kind of breaks everything down in that way. That makes you feel like, hey, you know, do you know how to even drink a beer? Like, are you okay? Can you just, like, relax for a minute? You know, I know I've interacted with a couple people like that, you know. It's like anything else. You get intoxicated with this thing of just like, oh my God, I am a student of Nietzsche, you know. And that shit's fucking annoying. But anyways, you know, there's that. And I'd like to know more of that. But this whole idea is like trying to meditate on this idea that what you are is the thing that observes everything I just said. That observes the arising and the descending of your emotions, of how you feel about everything, about how you talk to yourself, right? Are you talking to yourself? You know, if you can witness that voice saying something to you, usually negative, right? Or usually negative, or it's anything. Should I buy this? Should I do that? Should I ask her out? Should I do this? This life sucks. Da 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 da. Attach anything to all those things. If you can witness that, it's the thing that's witnessing that may be you. And that thing is void of attachment to what that dialogue is doing. and what that voice is saying to the other level of you, I guess, right? This thing that is observing your attachment to the things, to the object, to the emotion, to the hobby, to the obsession. You know, and what was it? It's a really good example in one of the first chapters, and I'm going to fuck this up. But it's like you go to the movie theater and you watch a movie. A movie's supposed to be really immersive, right? And it's like, what if your reality was that movie? You're separate from the movie, so you're like, oh, I'm just watching all of this. I'm watching this melodrama play out in front of me. This is cool. But then what if you, beyond seeing and hearing, what if now I can smell this movie? Holy shit, I can smell everything in this movie. This makes it even more real. And then it's like, what if then you feel the heat, right? You feel the wind, right? You feel the sex that's in this movie. Holy shit. What an experience. I can smell, hear, see, feel this movie. Holy shit. And then what if you can feel what the characters feel in the movie, right? And then you're gone. Then you're in there. Then it's like, well, what distinguishes the movie experience from the experience of you in that movie theater, right? I don't know. But that thing is still in the seat observing the entire movie. Whether you're connected sensory-wise, all senses, even emotions, it's still there. So the idea is to find that, meditate on that idea, so that you're not so connected to, say whatever, connected to your materialism, connected to your reactionary emotions, connected to the toxic habits that bring you down to down this unhealthy lifestyle of whatever, self-sabotage, addiction, you know, anything that stems from trauma, right? Your trauma. You might not have to be that trauma. You may not have to identify yourself as the addict, the traumatized, the abused. Like, how wonderful would it be to be able to meditate on this idea that, oh, I'm just on this human ride. And if I can separate myself from what this ride has done for me, then maybe I can manipulate this ride, because those things are already now manipulating the ride thus far. Can I detach from them? It's not easy, right? I mean, in the end, it feels like kind of a superpower to be able to get your headspace in that place. So to be able to wield that kind of power, like, yeah, I would think that would take a fuckload of hard work. Maybe it's your life's work. Because I don't see it being easy at all. You know? And there's a huge difference between me talking this concept and viscerally sitting, practicing, meditating, doing this, and practicing it. And I mean practicing it as in, like, not taking in certain stimulation that would trigger wild thoughts, wild emotions, you know? Like that. And not just, hey, here's a new idea. I'm just going to now spit it out to people, and like my whole ethos is revolved around this kind of one concept that I don't put into practice, but that I just fucking spit at people, you know? Or you can, you know, and I've gone through this before, but it's like, this is information that I could easily see people using it as just another ego boost, right? Hey man, you just gotta sit in your mind's eye. You just gotta sit in the seat of yourself. Don't you get it? I'm beyond all this melodrama, you know? And I'm not saying some people can't get there. I'm sure that some people can, you know? It's just that, like, it's just too bad that some of these beautiful practices and some of this heavy wisdom that if you allow to yourself to understand and to explore, it's so powerful. But it's just too bad that it in itself can also be a very easy trap for the ego. And it also shows how tethered, how fucking connected, interwoven we are to this thing we call ego, if it exists, right? And if it's not the ego, the level of self that is still connected to this, I don't know, this level of reality that still creates an abundance of value in admiration or propping oneself into a position, you know? That's heavy. That can feel very locked in. You know, and that's just more evidence to how difficult this is. To be able to try to do this in a genuine way that doesn't actually turn into something worse. You know? It's just information. Information is just like the internet. It's like fucking a knife. There's two edges to it. You know? You want to fuck up your reality with it, or you want to make your reality better with it. And you don't even know which one you're doing until you kind of get to the end, maybe. That's scary. That's scary. So like that is a concept I'm trying to like embrace a little more. This sitting in the seat of yourself, sitting with what you really are, constantly asking yourself, well, who am I? And maybe just that sentence right there is a good place to meditate on, right? Oh, I can't meditate. I don't like being, yeah. Chill out. Chill. You know, I don't like being in silence. I don't like being alone, whatever. Oh yeah, that was another one. Silence. Fuck, I'm going to do another one on silence. Silence is a big one for me. A part of this whole integration with the practice. And breathwork, but I think we're getting to the end of this. I just fucking go on and on and on. So I'll just do another one. You know, the whole idea of meditation and kind of just sitting there, yeah, it can be tough, and there are maybe steps to having a better meditative practice. And a lot of times what can push you into a better practice is breath work, like I said earlier, which I'd like to expand on later. But also having a little bit of a mantra, you know? I don't have to sit here and try to concentrate on nothing, because then I'm desiring to concentrate on nothing, which is just this vicious cycle of desire. It's kind of hilarious, but there is a way. But a good mantra of like, well, who am I? And if who am I is flavored with this concept of breaking down the senses, breaking down the things that you value, whether it's your car, your fucking jeans, your cool fucking sneakers, you know, or to a level of the place you are in your family, the place you are in your society, your career. These might be the heavier things to kind of contemplate, you know, and to not let go of, but to kind of understand that they are part of the process of boiling those concepts down and seeing what's left. All for the betterment of yourself to then serve these things, you know? But if your identity is one of those things, you know, it might just mean that this is a practice that could be helpful in that, you know? If along with that, you're also stressed out, going through bullshit. We all go through fucking bullshit. You know, who am I? What am I? You know, am I even this person? You know, am I this human being? Right? Sounds fucking goofy, right? It sounds so goofy because we're so connected, because it's all we do is exist in the realm of reality of humans. But it's a good thought exercise, right? And seeing what happens when you continuously work with that, and seeing what falls away, It's as simple as you don't have to relate to the emotions you don't like. How do we not relate to them? I think there's a lot of different ways. They all might kind of lead to the same place, right? But I'm sure there's a lot of different ways. And this very much falls in line with old literature that I used to read on dissolving the senses in Buddhism and exploring the idea of causality and dependent origination, which I didn't get into, but that is another concept that plays onto this, but also has a lot of minor steps of thinking that I think I enjoy, but I do get a little lost in the weeds, and maybe I need something a little more simple to sum it up. But I love that in a lot of Buddhist text, they leave you no space for question, because they break down the entire process seed by seed by seed. And I love that, but I think it just takes a little more work to kind of compress it all and to give birth to a real conceptualized idea. And if you've taken a shot of whiskey every time I've said conceptualize, you're probably fucking trashed. So I'm going to stop talking now. So yeah, thanks to the float tank. Thanks for the experience last year. And it's brought me to this place of exploring how to let go more. And it's not easy, and it's sometimes actually very scary, but I'm working on it. Between the ideas in the books, between putting it in practice when I get stressed out, between breath work, between a lot of stuff that I still want to explore on my own, and to come back and maybe report on it once I get a little bit more of a grasp. I'm grateful that I'm on this journey. Whether the things that have brought me here have caused me pain, I'm still very grateful. Because as I say, I bank on the idea that it will serve all of us a little more, because the other options are just horrifying. So why bother? Just go the other way. And hopefully you have people around you that support you in going this other way to be healthier. Because if they don't, then fuck them. I don't know. That's all I can say. All right, peace out. Love y'all.